It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
This week's special 420-week episode of Sports Lords is brought to you by Purple Urkel, Jaleel White's new line of sticky, icky ganja, man. Did I do that? Do what? I'm high as bro. And now it's time for the Sports Lords.
We're back, baby.
Just when you thought you'd gotten rid of us, we're back.
We're back.
I'm here too.
Yeah, Jimmy's back too.
Hey, yeah, you know, I'm a little slow on this technology, but I'm figuring it out over here.
It's not just you, buddy. We just spent like 15 minutes with me trying to figure something out that I still couldn't do. So
yeah, you know, these newfangled computers with their gizmos and their widgets and their, you know, whirly gigs and whatever. It's too much sometimes.
iPods, iPads, iPhones. I don't even know anymore.
More like crap. Am I right?
It's not my fault. That's all I'm saying. It's definitely not my fault.
Yeah, it's Tim Apple's fault.
Yes.
Or Jeff Bezos. More like Jeff Buzz Off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm more of an Elon Musk.
Yeah, you had a little trouble pronouncing it last week. I see you haven't worked on it at all, so that's good.
You had one homework assignment this week, Jimmy.
I know. I got busy. I lost track of time, but I promise I will recite his name 100 times before I go to bed every night this week, and I'll be ready to go, and I'll say learn mer.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, you got a lot of work to do, buddy. But I believe in you.
Thank you. With
how's
you guys
everybody's
get there.
How's everybody's spring going so far? Are you ready for White Boy Summer, or do you need some more time to get ready for it?
I'm pretty psyched for White Boy Summer, but I'm trying to enjoy White Boy Spring right now, you know?
Yeah.
One season at a time.
Yeah, I can't think of the White Boy Summer yet because it is spring and I'm just so horny like all the time, you know?
Yeah.
The birds and the bees and everything. It's like I'm just so horny.
I mean,
yeah,
we are animals. It's only natural, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's that we get that urge to procreate every spring, just like all the critters do.
We're nothing if not just critters.
We're big old critters. We're big critters.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear? We weren't supposed to talk about this, but Chet Hanks, Tom Hanks' son, who I was referring to, the one who originated the term "White Boy Summer," he went ahead and he dropped a single with a video for his new song "White Boy Summer,"
and he's now canceled.
I think he's been.
Well, I mean, he's been canceled for a while, but he's now actually just straight up accused of sexual assault.
Oh,
is that right? Is it?
Yeah, his ex-girlfriend is saying that
it's like domestic,
some sort of assault. I'm not going to speculate exactly, but it is going into the courts. It is a real thing that's not good.
Well,
and I don't mean to place judgment, guilt. You know, innocent till proven guilty. But if I had to guess, Chet Hanks looks like a guy who would do some bad stuff.
Well, Diego, that's slander, and I won't have it. But what I will have is I don't think it's getting him down too much because he was posting all over Instagram this weekend at a wedding. He was balling it up, you know, playing some conga drums at one point.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. You know, I like to think about him and Colin Hanks growing up together and how different those two siblings turned out,
Well, so I had to do some research because I was like, these two are so different.
Yeah.
So apparently they have different moms, and they're 12 years apart.
Okay.
So Rita Wilson is not Chet's mom?
No, Rita Wilson is Chet's mom. She's not Colin's mom.
Oh, Collins is a different. Okay.
Yeah. So they have I think they have 3 kids. Tom and Rita, and Chet is the most special among those kids.
And what we're saying is that this is all Rita's fault. Tom Hanks has nothing to do with this. It's all because the mom is different. That's what we're saying.
It's her.
Yeah.
And they also, it's just, I like that he just fully speaks with a Jamaican accent like that. That's
it's like
cool,
a Jamaican black scent, and it's, ridiculous.
Can you say that? Are you allowed to say black scent?
I don't know. I didn't realize. If I can't, I'm sorry. I apologize. Cancel me. I didn't
canceled.
I'm really unaware. I genuinely don't. Yeah.
So that's all right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what I said.
Now we got dueling soundboards. This is going to be really aggravating for people.
Look, if I misspoke and I shouldn't have said that, I genuinely do apologize, and I just want you to know
I love you, Johnny Cakes.
And for those of you who don't believe Diego's apology was sincere, let's fire up our chainsaws.
Oh, you going after him with chainsaws?
Yeah, if you mess up even once, you're getting
Oh, wow. I got to get in on the soundboard action so we can really annoy the hell out of our audience.
as if we need that to annoy the audience.
It's pretty freeing.
Audience, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us again. Any new members from the Worldwide Sports Radio Network tuning in for the first time, thank you for coming on board with us. We're pumped to be here.
Oh yeah. We're fired up to bring you guys hopefully some chuckles and a little bit of sports talk.
Yeah. Should we jump right in head first to the sports talk?
We could, if you wanted to.
Sure.
Yeah, let's not. Let's talk about Chet Hanks.
Now, he's someone who doesn't have 3 penises like that baby we talked about last week.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I wanted to shout out to some listener names for the baby with 3 penises that we discussed last week. I wrote some of them down. So some of my favorite were Trip D.
So these are from listeners?
Yes.
Okay, sick.
Trip D, Thomas Triple Dicks, Trey Dongwa, Trey Dongs, and Triple Donger.
All right.
So yeah, those are all good.
Yeah. Keep them coming. Keep submitting them. Keep sending them to us.
Yeah,
we'll read them out loud. But tell us who you are, and then we'll give you a little shout out.
I think our audience should know we're going to keep them up to date on this story too. It's not something that we're just going to leave behind. We're going to let them know how Triple Donger or Thomas Triple Dicks. Where he goes and what happens in his life. So you'll get that from us. We can promise.
And the New York Post will let us know too, because it seems like they're the ones that are very concerned about this story.
Yeah. So shout out to that baby. And hopefully someday we'll have him as a guest on the show.
Yeah.
Also, before we get into the sports, I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor this week. And then shout out to Jaleel White, better known as Steve Urkel to most people. This is a legit product that he's got out there. Check it out. Support him. And then you can be asking if anybody's got any cheese after you use it.
That's right.
Yeah. And also shout
tomorrow,
out to
420, baby.
Yeah, tomorrow's 420. Also, shout out to the MMA place in Ronkonkoma. I already forgot the name. I apologize. Look them up and go get some lessons, and then give everybody a few of these.
There you go.
Yeah, only in self-defense, of course. We don't advocate violence on this show. But I will say for Urkel, that's a good idea. If he was like a real business genius, you get the purple Urkel weed, and then you market it right next to the Urkel cheese at the store. So you're getting them on both sides. They smoke your weed, and then they get the munchies. They turn around and they have some Urkel cheese on a Triscuit or something.
And also, like, this isn't illicit because 2 out of 3 of us live in states where that stuff's now legal. You can go buy it at the store. Your purple Urkel. You get stoned out of your gourd on purple Urkel.
Get like some Jaleel White cheddar popcorn or something,
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Jaleel, give us a call. We have so many ideas for you.
Yeah.
You don't even have to pay me in cash. We can talk a different trade.
Yeah. Let's work something out, man, because we should be on your team.
And we're real fans, Jaleel, if you're listening. We don't just like you for your Urkel role. My favorite role of yours was actually in The Big Show's TV show.
The Big Show show?
The Big Show show. I think you did some excellent work there, and I look forward to sampling your purple Urkel.
Man, I forgot that he is in that show. Isn't he like his personal trainer or something? Or
I believe he's a personal trainer. But I don't remember the role or the situation or any of the jokes, but I just remember the acting, the performance.
Sure. That'll stick with you, yeah.
Well, we were all trying to get into the industry, and you want to go to the top of the acting food chain, and that's where you find it.
We've all worked in and out of the industry. It's not like we're total, we've all been paid to do entertainment across we've worked in sports radio before this and commercials, television.
Oh, yeah, our audience should know just how accomplished we are.
Video games, snuff films,
and this all just goes back to our point last week talking about our lordships in Ireland. That's ultimately about respect, and that's why we're telling you this now too, because you should respect us.
Yeah, obviously.
We'll have a problem.
Winning.
Exactly. Just listen to Charlie Sheen.
So current, that reference.
Very cool.
It's cool. It's cool that most of the people on TikTok weren't born when that happened. That's cool.
Yeah, people don't know who Steve Urkel is. Like, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
But that's a big money idea. So Urkel, give us a call.
Give us a shout. You got our number.
Yep. Make it happen.
All right. Should we open the door to sports now?
Let's let in the door. What sport should we start with?
Can I just bore everyone right away and just get the Super League talk out of the way?
Oh, please. Diego, I'm glad you brought that up because it's big news, and
it's the biggest news on the planet. Maybe not in the United States, but the whole planet. This is the biggest news.
So, could you please explain it to us?
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on.
So I hate it. I think it's bad. I think it's a bad thing. And it sucks because I'm going to defend FIFA and UEFA, 2 of the most corrupt organizations in the world that are awful, that are indefensible, but I'm going to have to defend them. So basically what's happened. All right. So even further back, the way soccer works in Europe, it's different than American sports. And what's happening is right now, Americans are going to ruin soccer for the whole world. So the way this works is in Europe, you have leagues in each country. So the Premier League is the British League, La Liga is in Spain, the Bundesliga is in Germany, and so on. And you have your teams there. So they play each other to win the league title. Sort of like in college football, you have the SEC and you play to win the SEC trophy or the Big 12 and so on. But then there's other tournaments that happen at the same time. The biggest one being the Champions League. The reason it's called the Champions League is because it's the winners, the top 4 or 3 of each league around Europe come together and they play each other to determine the best team in Europe. And that's like the biggest tournament you want to win right now. The Champions League is like the big one. So, right. And that includes like the Serbian league. It includes the Greek league. It includes the Turkish league. It includes smaller leagues, not just the big ones. So what's happening right now, and this is like an idea that's been fermenting for a long time, 12 of the biggest teams in the world have broken off and have said they're going to start their own super league to compete against the Champions League. So they're no longer going to be in the Champions League. They're going to start their own thing. All the money is going to go to them. And this league is going to end up being 20 teams. So right now there's 12. They're going to add 3 more, and they're going to have some spaces open for people to qualify and join the league. So this way they don't have to do revenue sharing. Basically, they get to keep all the money themselves, and they play. And the 12 teams that are starting this league, which include Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, they're permanently in this league no matter what. Because right now, to get to Champions League, you have to qualify. So even these really big teams might not qualify every year if they do bad. But with this, they're permanently in. So we're always going to see these 12 teams, no matter how bad they are. And it's basically the reason I say America and Americans are going to ruin soccer is because the owners of the majority of the teams that are putting this together are Americans. Because Fenway Group owns Liverpool, yeah. The Glazer family owns Manchester United, I believe, which is like Tampa Bay ownership. Stan Kroenke, who owns the LA Rams and the Avalanche and all that, he owns Arsenal, and they're all putting it together. And I think it really sucks because it's, a lot of the same teams win Champions League, but every now and then you get outliers. Like you get like little teams that upset the big boys and are suddenly playing Champions League, and it's really fun to watch. And I think this is going to be really boring. And it fucks the little guy over. They're going to lose money, the little leagues, even though the Super League is promising that they're going to set aside billions of dollars to give to the teams that aren't part of the Super League. But it fucks over big teams like Everton and, other teams like that. Like there's also Italian teams involved. This Juventus is involved. AC Milan is in there too. The Germans haven't joined because their whole league and the way that's set up is it's a club members own the team. So fans actually own the team. There's no single owner. There's like presidents and boards they vote for. But yeah, this league is going to be bad. And JP Morgan is funding it all, by the way.
Well, that's always good when that happens.
Well, I have a conspiracy theory that goes with that. But yeah, I'm very against this league. UEFA and FIFA are very upset. And they're basically fighting them. And what they're saying is if any player or team joins the Super League, they're not going to be able to play in FIFA-sanctioned international tournaments. So it means players aren't going to play in the World Cup that are part of the Super League. And they're not going to be able to play in Champions League. They're going to be banned from that as well.
And it's gotten so crazy that even Emmanuel Macron from France and Boris Johnson of England have both come out and said that they hate this idea and they're
basically to translate it to sort of terms that would make sense here, it would be as if Alabama, Florida, LSU, Ohio State, Michigan, like Oklahoma and Texas were like, hey guys, we're going to continue to play for the SEC and for the Big 10 and the Big 12. We're going to keep playing in your league. But when it comes to determining a champion in playoffs, we're not going to be part of the NCAA. We're going to do our own thing, and all that money we're going to keep all that money.
I see. Okay. So ultimately, it's all about money.
Yes, it's all about money.
Yeah. Interesting.
And it's all about money for UEFA, which is like the European Confederation that runs it. And it's all about money for FIFA, but this just seems like a really bad cash grab because, again, you're screwing over a lot of fans and a lot of small teams, and it stinks.
Yeah, and because the beauty of the Champions League is there's a slot allotted for, if I'm not mistaken, like every country in Europe, that has a league.
At least one. So like the bigger countries like England, the top 4 play in Champions League, and Spain, the top 4. But then in like Greece, I think it's like the top 1 or the top 2. In like Denmark, you get a team in. So it's like, and there's been like Porto has won it, from Portugal. They've won the Champions League before.
Right. So it gives even fans from like I was in Cyprus, and they've got their own league. They get a team in.
Yeah.
So that they're taking that away. And then also to your point, some of these teams are good now, but they've had long stretches of being bad in the past. Yeah,
that's a good point. Like Manchester City is going to be a founding member, and Manchester City was a joke for like 60 years. Like until 2012, they were atrocious. Like they were nothing. So what's to say, that won't happen again? And then like right now, Arsenal, who's starting this, is 9th place in the Premier League. They wouldn't make the Champions League. So it stinks.
Is it for real going to happen, or is it something that's more just being floated at this stage?
It's been floated for many years. It seems like it is going to happen for real. Although some people are saying they're using it as leverage to try to make changes within the way money is paid out and stuff. And they're just like trying to like figure out a way to get it more. And this is like a threat. But the thing is, it's sort of backfired. Now, the conspiracy theory that's fun here is that, so JP Morgan is funding it, really cool corporate overlords. Sure. There's a theory saying that they're doing this, they're funding this because they're laundering drug money. Because in 2019, there was a cargo ship that JP Morgan owns that was stopped in Philadelphia that had 20 tons of cocaine on it. Which was close to $1.6 billion worth of money. But they were like, it's not ours. It's like a shell company. And so like, we're not in charge of it. But conspiracy theories on the net right? Conspiracy theories on the net are saying they're just using this to launder their drug trade that's not talked about, which I love. Keep that rumor going.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, guys. I generally trust big corporations and large banks to do everything above board. So, I'm not as skeptical. Just kidding. I'm sure they're doing all sorts of fucked up.
Yeah. To new listeners, we are very, very pro corporation. We're very pro wealth. We want that.
The bigger, the better. The bigger, the better. That's what I say.
So that's kind of the crappy breakdown of what's going on in the world, in the Super League stuff. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Cause I mean, I'm sure people have problems with how UEFA and FIFA
it's awful.
Like those are very corrupt things, but like the Champions League is fun to watch.
It's the best.
So hopefully these greedy little piggies won't get their way.
It's like, this story is so big that like Jose Mourinho, the special one, Tottenham, recently head coach of Tottenham Hotspur, was fired today and no one's talking about it.
Damn.
Wow.
Like I had no idea. And that's a team I sort of keep track on, but I was just like all up in the Super League. So that's what's happening. I'm wearing my Barcelona sweatshirt, even though I'm mad that they're joining this, but they won the Copa del Rey over the weekend, so I'm still celebrating that.
Hey, congratulations.
Enough soccer. We've bored everyone. Let's get to fun sports, like baseball.
Yeah. America's 3rd most popular sport, baby.
Yeah, well, it's in full swing,
Ooh,
yeah.
I see what you did there.
Oh, yeah. Our Atlanta Braves were on Sunday Night Baseball last night.
2 weeks in a row, Sunday Night Baseball.
Yeah.
And this time it turned out great for the Braves. They needed that. So that was exciting.
Yeah, it's been a rough start.
Been a very rough start for the Braves and the Yankees. A lot of people's picks to go to the World Series and face off. Both have been pretty terrible to start the season.
One I'm happy about, one I'm not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the Braves have been very up and down. Bullpen issues. It's a lot of like Ronald Acuna is hitting like 420. and then the rest of the team is hitting like 205. So that's not good. I also just want to get off my chest on this Sunday night baseball broadcast last night. They're doing the in-game interviews during baseball broadcasts now. That's become a trend, and it's really annoying and distracting. And I feel like last night they had this Cubs Hall of Famer who I personally had never heard of, Billy Williams.
Me neither. I'd never heard of him until last
Never
night.
heard of him, but he's a Hall of Famer. And they had him on to talk about because I guess he was friends with Hank Aaron. So, I appreciate the guy's stories, but it's like there's a baseball game being played and you're like doing the split screen with this old man sitting in lazy boy, like holding his iPhone like this. And as the audience, we're like looking directly up this like 85-year-old man's nostrils while he talks about hanging out with Hank Aaron in 1972. And it's like, dude, I just want to watch the baseball game that's happening in 2021 right now. That's on your channel. Very annoying.
Very annoying. And to quote Paulie Gualtieri from Sopranos, it was like looking at his nose hairs on my 40-inch TV was like looking at BX cables. Because it was like his kid or somebody had like, all right, grandpa, here you go. Here's your phone. You can FaceTime. And yeah, he was just in his lazy boy, leaned back right up his nose. No producer told him to adjust anything. And to me, it's just like reeks of like this broadcast is put together by someone who hates baseball.
That's
They're
what
like,
it seems like.
Nobody wants to watch a game.
Yeah.
So let's like fill it with stuff that's entertaining. And some of it works, but most of it doesn't.
No, because the fun thing about baseball is that is the absolute best background noise in your home. You just put the game on, you put the volume up, and then you do anything you want. You do your taxes, you wash the couch, like you do whatever, and it's great. And they're doing all right. And it's a great background noise. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's America's pastime.
Yeah, and you're undermining your product by just you're telling the consumer like, we know this, you're not actually that into this because it's not that interesting. So let's, in this case, they're like, let's bring this 85-year-old guy in here. That'll really make this more interesting for people. Listen to this old freaking guy talk about shit that happened 50 years ago.
No disrespect to that guy that I had never heard of until last night, but that was a really strange choice. I don't know. That was weird. And then another thing about, because then they do, to talk about the actual baseball, it was kind of upsetting to see our precious boy Ronald Acuna suffer an injury. I don't think it's very serious, but that was alarming. It's great to see the Braves offense explode and get 13 runs. The other weird thing,
the way this year's going, they got 13 last night, and they'll get like 3 over the next 3 games.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And their pitching is just falling apart. So
with
that's
Fried out too. Yeah,
Fried, Soroka, Drew Smiley. So most of their rotation is injured.
Just like last year.
But I do want to talk about another aspect of the broadcast, which is Alex Rodriguez.
Oh yeah,
because he gives off very strong dumb guy who thinks he's smart vibes.
For sure.
I don't know. Anyone who I don't know. I don't see it, Kevin. He cheated on J-Lo. Like, he's a genius.
He is a genius for that. And that's what I wanted to talk about is I think, Diego, based on your recommendation, I started following A-Rod on Instagram. And he posts some weird stuff. Like, he posted that Instagram story. And from what I understand, I don't remember, but it was like him filming pictures of him and J-Lo to the song Fix You by Coldplay. And it's just...
It works, Kevin. Like, I've never brought it up, and I don't want to like put too much of my personal life out there, but my wife and I were having some problems, and like I'd had to move out for a little while, and she wasn't talking to me. And then I went on Instagram and I posted some photos with "Fix You" on it, and she came right home. Coldplay melted her heart and brought her home.
Coldplay will do that, and it's pretty strong sad guy energy from A, but then he'll flip it because like he's super chipper on the broadcasts, which doesn't mean that he doesn't act. But I don't know, the guy weirds me out. The more I see him and hear him, the more I'm weirded out by him.
I think he spent so much time as a super rich guy in Manhattan that he kind of aspires to be like a finance bro. Like he's sort of taken on some characteristics of Manhattan rich guy culture.
Yeah. He wants to be Gary V.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
They're buddies, and he shows up on Shark Tank every now and then as a shark.
Yeah. And
he's just
a baseball player, man. Like,
yeah, and he loves playing golf, which is like fine. But to your point, it's a very finance guy sport. But he kept posting all these golf videos last weekend, and then on the broadcast, like every other at bat, he'd be like, "Now you see, it's kind of like a golfer. It's like, which club do you want to use on?" It's like, dude, leave the golf at the golf course. Like, you're here to talk about baseball. It's a different thing.
Also, didn't he describe Anthony Rizzo as a Navy SEAL?
Navy SEAL, yeah.
He said he's a Navy SEAL type of guy.
The hell does that mean?
I have no idea. I think maybe it means he spends a lot of his time storming beaches. I don't know.
He's in the Middle East hunting ISIS. Like,
yeah, he did. He took a season off to hunt ISIS back a few years ago.
Yeah. Also, A-Rod, we haven't mentioned this. He wants to buy the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
And potentially move them to Seattle, which would be cool.
And interestingly, Timberwolves rookie star, Atlanta's own Anthony Edwards, was asked about that, and he had no idea who A-Rod was. They told him, because he's like 20 or whatever,
yeah. And
they asked him like, so A-Rod is sounds like he's going to be a part owner of the Timberwolves, and Anthony Edwards is like, I have no idea.
It just shows you crazy. How baseball transcends our culture right now.
It's a big problem, folks.
I hung out with a guy recently who's like our age, and he seems like a guy who's he's like, I'm not really a sports guy. And somehow Hank Aaron came up, and he was like, who's that? He didn't know Hank Aaron. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who Hank Aaron is. But I guess not. I guess
you should have just given him a wedgie on the spot.
Willie Williams knows who Hank Aaron is, apparently. Was that his name?
Billy Williams.
William D. Williams?
No, just Billy Williams. It's regular old Billy Williams.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and I might be going to Yankee Stadium tomorrow to see our beloved Braves play. So we'll see.
They finally called you up?
Yeah, I'm next on the Sean Kazmar got hit by a bus, so I'm the next up for the Braves.
Nice. Heck yeah.
No, just going as an observer. If a ball gets hit out into the outfield and I happen to throw it back because my arm is amazing and it goes all the way to home plate and they ask me to join the team, so be it.
Yeah. Hey, it could happen.
But there's some other baseball stories we got here. Like I saw, because the reason I'm going to go to the game is one of the reasons is because I'm fully vaccinated. And I saw that Andrelton Simmons of the Minnesota Twins refused the vaccine. Now he has the COVID-19.
Yeah. Look, we love Andrelton. Have nothing but fond memories of his time in Atlanta. Always seemed like a great, nice guy, but come on, bro. What are you doing?
Clown move, bro.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, it's you want to avoid that,
Yeah, get the vax. I got the vax yesterday. My second dose. I got the Pfizer running in me. So I highly recommend it to everyone, you know?
Yeah. Same here.
If
We're all-
like, I understand some reservations. I understand, certain communities of color who have reservations considering the history of this country and how they've been treated as medical guinea pigs. But this isn't that. This is all right. So just let's get the vaccine and let's get back to baseball games, guys.
And hey,
Although,
if you don't get it and you die, that's on you, pal.
Right. And if you're worried about what's going in your system, that means you're someone who doesn't smoke or drink beer or do anything bad to yourself because you're constantly poisoning yourself.
Right. Which this is America. Everybody does something.
Yeah, we all eat McRibs.
Yeah, exactly.
What's in that? I don't know, and I don't care.
they did.
I'm Bill Maher now.
Okay.
New
rule. They did sideline the Johnson and Johnson, even though it was like 6 people out of millions.
Yeah.
But leave it to Johnson and Johnson because the owner of the New York Jets football team, Woody Johnson, he's from the Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah, former ambassador to the United Kingdom.
Hell of a guy. Great family, great guy, great company. So
knows how to run a team.
Absolutely.
Into the ground. No, I know we've got a lot of Jets fans on our network, so our condolences, but I think you guys would agree. Woody Johnson, if you got your choice of, 3 or 4 different pharmaceutical companies, you should probably take the one that he and his family had nothing to do with.
Yeah. Exactly.
But again, 6 people had bad results with that. 500,000 people plus had bad results with COVID. So
in this country.
So, think about it like that, maybe.
Yeah.
By the way, to get it back to baseball, I do. So for those of you who are new to the pod, we've discussed in the past, we think there's something we love about baseball is that there's always a new crop of baseball slobs. And I think if you're listening, you'd probably agree baseball has the highest percentage of slobs per capita.
And you know what we mean by baseball slobs. We're not fat shaming. It's just, you're a slob.
You don't look like a professional athlete. You look like a slob.
Yeah.
And
you look like us.
Yeah, you basically look like us. And that's why I love the sport. I see myself, I see slob representation.
Yeah, which there's not enough of that in this culture these days. They're trying to shove us slobs into the darkest corners of society. So it's important.
And again, you don't have to be overweight. Like Lenny Dykstra was a major baseball slob, and that guy was pretty decent shape.
I just want to shout out 2 new slobs. First base, they're both first basemen. For the Milwaukee Brewers, I didn't record his first name, but his last name is Vogelbach.
I think it's Ryan Vogelbach.
Ryan Vogelbach of the Milwaukee Brewers, and first baseman for the Minnesota Twins, Williams Astudillo.
Sure.
These guys are
Daniel Vogelbach. Thank you.
Nathaniel Vogelbach.
Okay.
Daniel. I got it.
It's to me, it's not surprising that the Midwest has supplying some of our best top baseball slobs right now, because it's I think of it as the slob heartland.
Right.
It's the heartland of America and also the slob heartland of America.
I think a big loss is that Anthony Rizzo, that's like a slob name, but he looks like a SEAL.
He's a Navy SEAL type guy.
Yeah.
So,
and you know who I might include in baseball slob? Maybe not. He's not a slob, but he's a baseball character that pitches. He's a great pitcher. Zach Greinke.
Sure.
Kind of a weirdo.
He's very much a weirdo.
Yeah.
And he threw a pitch this past week, 51 miles per hour. That's slower.
Queen. Yes, Queen.
That's tops out on my speed of throwing. So I also feel seen and represented by that pitch.
Did he tell them he was throwing it? because I saw like the headlines because like last year he was calling his pitches. He would tell the guys, "I'm throwing a fastball now," and then he would just throw it.
I don't know if he did that, but it was just a big looping 51 mile per hour juicy meatball.
Yeah, he was doing that last year as a way of like of countering the anti-Astros sign stealing stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
we don't need to, like, I can just tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I just want to say again, I know we've covered this, but the Astros really, the pandemic really bailed them out on the hate. That story just kind of disappeared because the season got postponed for 4.5 months or whatever. So that's a shame because I really would have enjoyed seeing them get punished by the fans more last year, but who knows? Maybe it'll happen this year.
We can hope.
They dodged a big time bullet there, and everyone's kind of forgotten. But anyway, man, there's so much baseball.
There's a lot of baseball. There was another no-hitter thrown already, but no-hitters don't matter anymore, and like no one really cares. But Carlos Rodon of the White Sox missed a perfect game by this much, by a toe, because he struck a guy on the toe basically, and that cost him the perfect game. But that's 2 no-hitters already.
Yeah.
These pitchers, man, they're throwing freaking heat.
They sure are.
And do we want to touch on this? Because the former player Paul LaDuca, who's getting sued by umpire Joe West. For slanderous libel, making up a story about him apparently.
Wise guy Paul LaDuca?
No. I think Joe West actually won that lawsuit. I think he was awarded $500,000.
Yeah.
He did because, correct me if I'm wrong, but Paul LaDuca said that I believe it was pitcher for the Mets, Billy Wagner would let Joe West drive his sports car around before games.
It was he told Billy Wagner, "Don't worry about it. I let Joe West drive my vintage car around because he loves vintage cars. So he's going to give us this pitch." And he told that story on a podcast. And then Joe West sued him, and they brought Billy Wagner in as part of the suit. And Billy Wagner was like, that never happened. And then they went back and looked at the games, and Joe West was never a home plate umpire in a game where Billy Wagner was pitching to Paul LaDuca. So it was just 100% fabricated and easily debunked. And it cost Paul $500,000.
Yeah. Crazy. It's crazy that that you would just make that up, but hey, you know.
Well, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong about this, but I think Paul LaDuca's also during his time on the Mets got in trouble or maybe didn't get in trouble, but had some comments about some of his Latino teammates not being able to speak English. And he sounded off on that to the press one time, like, "Why are you guys always asking me questions? These guys, they may act like they don't know how to speak English, but they know how to speak English."
It's always a bad look when you go there, you know?
Yeah.
And it happens a lot in baseball.
It's still happening to this day.
Oh, yeah.
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 Why not put on a fake accent himself? Like, "Oh, why are you asking me about the questions? I am from Italy. I do not know." And then reporters wouldn't ask.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's a tough L for Paul LaDuca there.
Yeah, but also screw Joe West. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't really root for either of them. They both suck.
It's hard to root for a member of the Brotherhood of the Umpire.
Yeah, exactly.
The real heroes of baseball.
The stars.
The stars.
That's what people tune in to watch.
Yeah.
They're the true slobs of baseball too.
Yeah. I always wanted to follow the rules. I want to enforce the rules. That's what I want to do for my life.
Yeah, Joe West is like, he's like the final boss of slob baseball slobs. Amazing man.
Yeah, we know their names. That's how much of a stars they are. Like, we know Joe West. We know Angel Hernandez.
Yeah, exactly.
We know these guys.
Those are the two freaking studs of umpiring.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I don't know. Any other baseball crud, or should we move on to another sport with our limited time we have remaining?
Yeah, I think we can move on. We can do the baseball history another time.
Yeah,
That'll take up too much
That's
time.
an evergreen.
Yeah, it takes up too much time anyway. We'll move on.
Yeah. Well, I did see. Jumping over to the NFL, the National Football League.
Sure.
For those of you who don't know,
for those of you listening who don't know what the NFL is, it's the National Football League. Not like in Europe, not soccer. We're talking American football, throw, catch, run.
Brain injury, die.
Yeah.
But I did notice that
kill a bunch of people, then die. Sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, that's
our own network, the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, put out a poll that relates specifically to our hometown team, the Atlanta Falcons, asking what do people think they should do with their fourth pick in the draft? Draft a quarterback, draft Jamar Chase, draft Kyle Pitts, or trade back and help the defense.
Or there should have been a fifth option: just close the business completely and end your franchise and blow up the Mercedes-Benz Stadium and walk away.
Break up the team.
Yeah.
Or a sixth option: draft a useless player who will do nothing for you.
Yeah, right.
Which is most likely what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to draft some DN we've never heard of, and he'll have a mediocre career.
And they'll make him play tight end, and then he'll, like, the second Jamal Anderson.
Yeah, that was bad.
So,
do we have the results of that poll? I'm curious.
I'll tell you right now. Which one should I pick? And then I'll say draft a QB.
I like draft a QB.
So it's actually a tie. 31.8% said draft Kyle Pitts, and another 31.8% said trade back and help the defense.
I was gonna say, I think trading, like, in all seriousness, if I do want to think that the Falcons should be good, because I hate them a little bit or a lot, they should trade down and just bulk up that defense, because it sucks. Because if they draft a QB at 4, it'll likely be Trey Lance, because the other, Trevor Lawrence is going 1, Fields is going 2 or 3, and Zach Fox is going in one of those spots as well.
Wilson, yeah.
So, because I don't want McCorkle Jones.
Yeah.
And, we need to replace Matt Ryan, but
yeah. Well, like,
not in a position right now, I don't think.
A few months ago, it looked like it was more of a possibility to just straight up replace Matt Ryan, like maybe only have him start for a season, but I think they restructured his contract, and they're basically on the hook to keep him for at least 2 more years. So if that's the case, like, if you draft a quarterback, what are you doing? You're paying Matt Ryan like $30 million or something to just not play, so it's tough, because I kind of feel like they should just move on. It's time to start fresh with a new coach and a new GM. But obviously they're committed to Matt Ryan. So you're probably right, Diego. It's probably better just to trade back and stock up. And get
the defense
value.
has been a joke. That's been holding us back.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts is like an amazing talent. Like, he's ready to plug in right away, but what's his face? Hayden Hurst had a really good year for us last year. I don't know. And like, tight end, like, it's a good position, but like, do you want to spend your first round pick on that necessarily?
Right.
When you have so many holes, like, if we were one of those teams that like is pretty set everywhere, then like, yeah, go for it. But there's so many holes on that team.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I guess that's 2 weeks, or no, it's like a week and a half away or something like that, right?
Right. Again, I'm of the mind of like, I know it's blasphemy in Atlanta, but package Julio, who's, before he gets hurt again this season, like he always does, package him with the 4 pick and get the world for him, or like move up. If you really want Justin Fields, see if you can entice someone with Julio, the 4 pick, and get like a lot back for him.
That's what I wanted them to do when the season ended.
Yeah.
It's just get rid, like clean house, trade Julio, set yourself up to move on from Matt Ryan and within a year or whatever. But it doesn't really seem like that's the plan.
No.
So yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm personally, I'm for option 5. Close the business.
Yeah. I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
we're just playing sports analysts here.
Yeah.
But just shut it down. Send them to another city. Let's send them back to whatever. I don't know.
Shut it down, John Tapper style, and move on.
Yeah.
By the way, it's crazy that it's been a year. Like, you remember last year's NFL draft? I don't remember when it was exactly, but it was like beginning of the panorama. And it's crazy that it's been a year since that happened, and a year to the day today since The Last Dance premiered on ESPN.
Yeah, that was an integral part of the early pandemic experience, for sure.
It's
come a long way.
We're all vaxxed up.
We all have yellow eyes like Michael Jordan now from the,
glug, 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 glug.
Yeah.
We all live in Jupiter, Florida.
Yeah. We're all getting ready for White Boy Summer.
Woo.
Woo.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be hot.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy that it's been a year since The Last Dance came out.
Yeah.
I just can't. Yeah, that was even more crazy to me to swallow than hearing it had been a year since like New York City was locked down, which was like a month ago. Wow, what a year. A lot of sitting around.
Yeah. Been a big year for sitting around. And I've had some big years for sitting around in the past.
We're all about sitting around on this show.
Yeah. But I think we all set personal bests for sitting around in the last year, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And I'm fully vaccinated. And I'm still doing a lot of sitting around. So,
yeah.
I'm doing a lot of other stuff that's not sitting around, but mostly sitting around.
Yeah. My vision board that I have that I hung on over my bed that I look at every night before going to bed. I said 2021, what do I want to do? I don't want to sit around anymore. I'm going to make it my laying around year.
Oh,
I'm gonna lay around.
Laying around. Laying
closer
around.
to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And I don't want to tell Jimmy how to spend this next year, but I think maybe you should make it the year of farting around.
Oh, that could be good for me. Because, similarly to sitting around, I've had some big farting around years too. But
and you're fart positive. You're a fart positive person.
Thank you. I am fart positive. I try to live my truth and be fart positive and try to educate people about the fart positivity movement when and wherever I can, which mostly means farting loudly and stinkily in public places.
But if you have your headphones in and you can't hear your fart, it didn't really happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just a person. You guys, we're all just people, okay? Well, so let's just fart freely and have a better, freer, happier society.
We're all fart bags that are alive.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
but yeah,
salute.
And then closing real quick. Yeah, the Hawks are the 4 seed. Go Hawks! They're doing great. Even with all the injuries, they're still looking good.
Yeah. So, but correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't been following the NBA as much since baseball started. But are we still thinking Brooklyn Nets, LA Lakers are the favorites, or what?
It depends on injuries. Lakers have been down Anthony Davis and LeBron. They're going to come back and be awesome again, but if injuries continue to linger, you never know. And the Nets can outscore anyone, but they play the worst, like historically bad defense as well. And they're also in and out a lot. KD went out last night in the first quarter with an injury. Harden wasn't playing. We still haven't seen all of them together for too much. And in the playoffs, they're also like terrible defenders. In the playoffs, you lose a little bit of that offensive advantage. So it's, they're probably the betting odd favorites, but who knows? I still like the Sixers. I think when they're fully healthy, they can really cause a lot of matchup problems. And if the Heat can stay healthy and not get COVID and figure it out, I mean, they're still a really good team. If Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson can shoot again, they'll be a force. Yeah. But our Hawks are going to make the playoffs, and that's great. And Nate McMillan should be hired as the coach and kept because he's clearly good.
Yeah, although from what I've heard, Bill Simmons is still not convinced on Trey.
No,
we got a long way to go. Okay,
and we need Bill Simmons' approval for sure.
Exactly. I mean, he's the base.
He's the basketball guy.
Exactly, I'm the basketball guy.
He's the basketball guy. He's the Boston guy, Boston sports guy.
Look, the Celtics are the 5 seed. They play the Hawks right out of the playoffs, and they would eliminate them in 3 games. Not even, or maybe in 2 games. It was just eliminated in 2 games. So it's the Celtics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill Simmons, if you're listening.
And he is.
He definitely.
Oh, yeah.
He's a former guest. He's been on our show.
Yeah.
Speaking of former guests, we didn't really promote it today because we were just figuring it out. But in the coming weeks, if people want to call in, I think there's maybe a number on the bottom of the screen. I don't know, but hit us up, call in, and we'll shout you down, and we'll take you to task.
Yeah, we'll tell you.
Get off our show!
Yeah.
Pull up Bruce Stenman. But I think that's gonna do it, right?
Yeah, so baby. I mean, we got so much to get to, but you know what? We got another show next week to get to it all. And in the meantime, we got to enjoy ourselves some 420, baby.
Ooh, yeah.
Woo.
And with that, we'll see you next week. Tweet us out more nicknames. Make sure you follow the Worldwide Sports Radio Network on all socials. Check out all their other shows. They got a lot of really great shows. What was I going to say? I'm blanking because this vaccine is getting to me. How You Know is a fun show on the network to check out, right?
Yeah, I've just been dabbling in some of the shows, and that was a very funny show.
We're getting to know them.
Sure.
So I want to shout them out because it's a good one. But they're all good because it's a great network.
Winning.
Yeah. So check out the rest of the shows. Check it out on social media. Check us out on social media. Sports Lords. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. We got to get better at social media. But check us out. Follow us. Send us suggestions. And then, we'll get some calls next week. I'll make sure to get on it a little bit earlier and encourage that. But have a great week, everyone. Enjoy tomorrow. Enjoy your 420. And Papa bless.
Papa bless.
Papa bless.
Bye.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.